Welcome back to another episode of the World of Ability. The World of Ability was started on July 26, 2020, and we look at life from the perspective of people with disabilities. It's also based on a concept of programming intended to encompass within a year, look across faith, service life, lifelong learning, politics, or explorative activities from the perspective of people with disabilities. I am Emily, one of the hosts today, and we are joined by one of our longtime regulars, Barbara. Hi, Barbara. How's it going today?
Going good. It's going good. Yeah, we got a puppy, and that's it's surprising how they really become like the heart, I think, of a family a lot. They bring a lot of heart to the situation there. And I got to do a speech that people really enjoyed. And if I can share it.
Sure. Go right ahead.
I started by quoting Mary Ann Williamson, who started the Work Course in Miracles and wrote the book Return to Love. And it starts by saying, you might think that our fears are what's holding us back, and you could be right in that. But examining our fears closer might not be what we think. We might think our deepest fears are our fears of being inadequate. But actually, our deepest fears is that we are powerful beyond measure. You might think, who am I to say, I'm brilliant, I'm capable of being brilliant, talented, gorgeous, fabulous. But who are you not to say that you are those things? If you're saying you're a child of God, then by expressing ourselves in such a way, we actually enable others to break through their fears and show more of their authentic selves. As we do this, we find there's so much more. There's so much more to us. And this is holy work, overcoming these fears. Makes me think of when I first started chanting 54 years ago. This Japanese woman's like, we're going to create world peace. We can do this. And utilizing Sanskrit, ancient Indian, and ancient Chinese, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo chant, saying, okay, I'm here. I'm going to do something with this whole life. I want to care about this whole thing. I'm part of life, death. Let me understand cause and effect. I'm not gonna beg anywhere. I'm not gonna blame anywhere. I'm gonna point right here and say, I'm going to bring out my potential, and we're gonna see this world become more peaceful, more loving, kinder, healthier. And she said, watch the power of your passion here. Well, I was a Holocaust survivor child, and I had a mom that when I was little, she would wake up screaming. She couldn't be touched. She would tell me that if people aren't Jewish, they don't really want you to be alive. Even if they might act like they're your friend, and you think, what a crazy thing to tell a child, what a crazy thing to think. But her family actually had been murdered around her. And here's this Japanese woman who survived the atomic bombs, and she was like, we have all this potential. We're going to turn what's been poison in our lives into medicine for ourselves and other people. And from a child who is diagnosed does not smile the fact that I'm a laughter yogini right now. I can lead laughter yoga sessions and Toastmasters. Sometimes I won humorous speech contests. helping people laugh is just so wonderful. But the time when I was determined to get my mother out of pain, I really wanted to help my mother. She'd been hurting as long as I could remember. So I started waking up early every morning, and I would be chanting, focusing on her happiness, her health. And I started seeing all these things started happening in her life. She got to go on her first vacation ever. She got to go to China. She lost all this weight to become so much healthier and start doing tennis and yoga. My brother actually lost weight. Health benefits opened up for her at her work. And I couldn't say, Mom, I'm doing this for you. I'm waking up early every morning and I'm chanting and I'm focusing and I want to see my mom not hurting so much. But you know, when we're afraid that if we try to bring out our potential, if we try to share, we're going to alienate other people. We're going to make them feel insecure. I mean, I thought, hey, she's already been through enough, and she's worried that, you know, her hippie daughter might be a little crazy, and how can they make her feel more insecure? But you know what? What if I had said, Mom, I'm doing this every morning. I'm doing this for you. And I believe I see it working, and try it with me. Let's chant for Daddy, or let's chant for my brother. Let's see if it works. If the two of us are chanting together, let's see what we can do. And you know, we wouldn't have to talk to each other, because sometimes words just can't touch where our passion is, where our love is. And you know, we could just be facing straight ahead, you know, chanting side by side. But what if we started rejoicing over seeing good things happening in our family and felt like there was some unity happening there? But you know, at this age, my mom's been passed many years, and I'll never know. But you know what? In this radio show right now, one of the things we're doing is, as we start trying to show other people our potential, where we're genius, you know, where we're so beautiful, we actually are giving each other, subconsciously, we're giving each other space to break through our fears of showing that we are powerful beyond measure, and together we can create a world that's peaceful, that's kind, that's joyful, that's fun, where people can be happy. And this show right here and now, this is one of the tools that we get to use to do that for each other. You agree with me, Emily?
Yep, that is. For everybody, not just whether or not you have a disability, and for, so we say it's for everyone and everybody.
I like how Denise, so you know, she would talk about how sometimes we don't see like where she might have gained some skill. Or I know Kurt talks about that, you know, just because of who she is, because of the situations that she's in, where she might have some strength in being creative. Or I think, yeah, and that is everybody. I think everybody has like some disabilities, you know, one way or another.
Yeah.
I watch people opening up their refrigerator door and just looking inside for a long period of time, because we don't really know what to do with ourselves yet. We're far from being all we can be.
Everybody think we want to know what to do, but then, yeah, it's her darling. Yeah. Yeah. But how often have you done the Toastmasters?
First time I found Toastmasters was in 1984, when I just determined I would take any job I could, because I had two small children and I needed to take care of us, and I couldn't say, oh, this job's below me, or this job's too hard for me, or I was just gonna accept what I could. And it was really interesting. I ended up at Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences in DC.
Oh, wow.
And I saw a big sign that said, "Are you afraid to speak to people? Well, join Toastmasters." And when I wanted to check it out, I saw that people were so compassionate there. They were caring about, they knew I was a vegetarian and I had 2 small children. So I started hearing a lot of speeches about nutrition. But I knew, it was people like, caring and wanting to see the best happen for each other. And that's the first time I found Toastmasters, and I wasn't able to stay with it, but I keep finding it, coming back. And it's a beautiful organization. It started, I think, about the same time when these 12-step programs started, in kind of the same way. It was just men and just special men, and they were going to help each other communicate, and got to see someone who had a bad stutter overcome the stutter. And then women started showing up, sneaking their way in, but then they had to show up in dresses. And that was interesting. And it just started in different churches and community centers, morning, afternoon, and evening, when people could get together with this, babies start walking, and hopefully there's family there going, come on, you can take another step. And then, yay, you're walking. And Toastmasters, it's like, come on, you can say more. Yay, you're communicating. That's very similar. And it's when I started this channel, I started still learning about people outside of my culture, and I'm grateful for
that. What kind of drew you into Toastmasters?
What's that?
What kind of drew you into Toastmasters?
The compassion of the people there, and I thought it was interesting that they would help you get over your fear of communication. And I know when I was little, one of the games my dad liked to play, like you take out a quarter, and the kids were making everybody crazy. He was the one that would come over and he'd say, all right, we're going to play a game called Quiet. And he'd say, whoever can stay quiet the longest is going to get this quarter. And then he'd start trying to trick you, like, so how old are you? And then if you spoke, oh, you're out of the game, And then, it's kind of fun. And then it would turn into, okay, now someone could get this quarter if I talk 2 minutes on any subject I give you, and he would be encouraging us to communicate. I knew he was trying to keep the kids out of trouble.
Yeah, that's
and I
awesome.
thought, yeah, it was a fun game. I think, the idea that Malala, I'm not sure which way you say her name, the girl that got shot in Pakistan, going to school, her school was, because she was talking to people about the importance of being girls. She really believed that people wouldn't become terrorists. They'd never get that crazy if they had education, because then you're relating to, great philosophers and artists and musicians, and, as we help develop our humanity, right? With this, with communicating, which is educating, I believe. And I'm impressed right now with animals. And I've been listening to a lot of dog trainers since we got this puppy. And you see how quick they are to understand what we're trying to say. Quicker than we think they can be, because we're judging them by human standards. And, there's a part of them that's, beyond that. And it's kind of fun to see that.
What kind of puppy?
This is called a Pomsky. And it's part, I don't know what I think about this, because they take a little Pomeranian that was bred to be a lap dog. An emperor, that's where they were first bred. I believe in Asia, the emperors would have those long robes with those big sleeves. And for some reason, they were supposed to be sitting somewhere for a long period of time. And they wanted a dog that, could sit in those sleeves, they could hold in those sleeves that could sit on their laps and just be comforting. And then they bred these with huskies, all those ones that have those beautiful blue eyes, and they pull sleds, and they're all wild, right? And how they do it is they do artificial insemination. They take like Pomeranian sperm and put it in a husky egg to create these pomskies. So it's supposed to have the best qualities of the husky and the Pomeranian. And they come out really pretty puppies.
Yeah,
interesting looking.
Yeah, how old is the puppy?
11 weeks.
Oh,
so I think 12 now.
Yeah, so still very young.
There
oh,
it is.
He's so cute. Hey, what's your name, buddy?
His name's Kai, and that's my daughter Sarah.
Oh, hi.
She's even shorter than a puppy, I think, but I'm her.
Yeah, she's looks like she's being a really good puppy.
She's a mom.
You're being a really good puppy.
He's got a belly band on, does he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you ever seen those before?
Yeah, I think so.
For boy puppies? Yeah.
So.
It's a little band that I don't know what they do for girl puppies. I guess they need full diapers, but for the boy puppies, they just have this band.
Yeah. Yeah, just in case. Yeah.
That was nice. So it's just us. Is there anybody out there listening to us? Let us know.
Yeah. Do you have any other stories you'd like to tell us? I know you're usually full of stories. So if you have any you'd like to.
Well, when I was, growing up with my mom's experience, right? So it was enabling me to develop paranoia and withdraw from life in different ways. Somewhat schizophrenia, way to withdraw, and what would be called like paranoid schizophrenia, but also becoming catatonic. People are familiar with what that is, where you're not trying to be dead, you're just trying to be back in the womb. So if someone goes catatonic and you start like trying to kill them, just save their life. So one time I become conscious and my boyfriend was there going, I was just strangling you. And I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, because I read that and it did bring you back. And narcoleptic, a lot of people can relate to narcolepsy and associate other problems, heart problems, and different problems with people that go into being narcoleptic. And that's where your drug of choice becomes your ability to withdraw from life. So it's an inside job. I watch people who are NA people or AA people, and they can, not pick up, right? And then they can be so successful in society. But if your way of dealing with pain and all is where you're not even in control of it, or you're just withdrawing from life, that's definitely a challenge. And when I was 18, I meet this Japanese woman, Mrs. Snelling, and we meet Ronnie Smith, who was growing up Black in Washington, D.C., which in the 60s was still the drug capital and the murder capital of the United States. And she's telling us, watch, we're going to turn what's been poisoned in our lives into medicine. And she had been there when the atomic bombs went off, and it created a radiation sickness in her blood. This lady, though, she had to decide. She was brought by an American GI back to the United States, to the DC area. And she was pregnant with a son. I believe she was still pregnant. I don't think she'd given birth yet. But he told her, you stop this nonsense of talking to people, telling people about that's nonsense and you're an embarrassment to me. And if you don't stop talking about that, I'm just going to abandon you and the baby because I'm not going to have that in my life. And here she was in the land of the enemy, right? Hardly speaking language at all with this little boy. And she said, I believe in what I saw. And what she saw was in order to come to the United States, she had to pass physical. And the first time she didn't pass because of disease in her blood. And she was told, chant about it. You have a mission to bring about, world peace. You're not just going to the United States as one wife of one GI. You have this mission. And so she did chant about it, and then she passed the test. So to her, that was a big miracle.
Yeah, that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, and when he was telling her, if you want me to stay with you and take care of you and the baby, and she said she just went and chanted like 5 hours, and she thought, no, I'm going to believe that I have something, important to share. And he left her. And Ronnie Smith, who was coming out of DC, coming out of being drug addicted and just so much, craziness around him. He ended up being the vice general director of this organization in his lifetime. He died of a kidney problem, which I don't know if everyone's familiar with Louise Hay, but she associates our kidneys and kidney problems with fear problems. And Ronnie had a lot of reasons to be afraid. So I thought, there's probably something about that. But he did get to be great and create a great family. And Mrs. Snelling, when she passed, she was able to leave like enough money that we created what she wanted, a big champagne memorial to celebrate her life. And her son was there, a very successful man with his wife and his successful children at the time, which was so good to see. And then me thinking, okay, so I'm on this show, right? And what's going to be, how am I going to show my greatness? What's my contribution to helping the world become a saner, better place? I really want to do community development. I want to help create schools where there's one teacher for every 5, 6 kids, not more than that. Not one teacher in front of 40 to 60 kids, hollering at the one kid that won't listen.
Yeah.
To me, that's not good, Really love it when kids get to go out in nature and plant things and build things and learn. And there's more schools, there's more environments that are respecting the dignity of life, and that every generation is a new, improved, more conscious version of humanity. See it, believe in it, support it, help it grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it would be so great to change the economic structure so people don't have to work jobs that they don't believe in, they don't think it's important to the planet or good, healthy for people, that they don't like, just to keep a roof over their heads, just to stay poor. That we do it. They started doing in Africa, which is creating a gifting economy. So it's we would ask you, all the people that are watching this show right now, Emily, what do you need to feel that your dreams are coming true, that you can be happy? And then we would all gift into helping your dreams happen. And then maybe if people did that for me, then it would give me money to go on with my education, even though I'm in my mid-70s. I'd be able to get my doctorate at Soka University would be great, in this idea of new age, education and psychology, psychology was my major, and education. And I loved philosophy and performing arts, and to be able to be in that kind of an arena, to the world of academia, where supposedly among scientists there there is no war, there's not this competition. There's people trying to share what we're learning, and I would love to be able to be part of that.
Yeah. Doing what? Like helping, like what exactly would you be doing in that arena?
One thing I think is that studying human sexuality, actually.
Oh, okay.
Because I fell in love with a befriended someone who turned out to be a pedophile.
Yeah.
And I think that most people's reaction to that is like to cringe or those people should be killed or whatever. But if we start having compassion and start listening to each other, like this one boy said he was like 7 years old. People say I was 7 years old and I felt like I was in the wrong body, or I was the wrong sex, right?
Yeah.
There's kids that actually are trying to figure out, why they have these obsessions. And this one boy, he saw someone hurt an 18-month-old. He was like on the internet, and he goes to his mother and he goes, "Mom, I have a problem, and then you need to take me to a doctor and talk about this." He was becoming an adolescent, and the doctor didn't want to believe him because he was still, a child.
Oh boy.
And the mother believed him a little bit, but he wasn't finding any help anywhere he could communicate. He actually started something on the internet, but if people thought they had this problem, but if they ever acted out on it, then they couldn't be part of the communication, and they couldn't be part of the networking. But we need to be able to look at, the different problems and try to understand about counterphobia. Like, to explain that, I was once in that Yellowstone area, and the forest rangers come around and they say there's bears around here, and don't leave food out. There won't be any problem. But these kids showed up and they were partying. It was like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. They leave food out. And a grizzly bear came into our campsite and I think tripped over these wires this guy had on his little V tent, tent. And he started trying to fight this grizzly bear, and he did not survive. And for about 3 days, I'm walking around the woods just looking for bears to fight, I mean, while this was happening, I was going to go out and rescue him, and my friend holds me back, and he says, "There's people here, campers and all. They could help much safer than we can." And then I start remembering I've made peanut butter and honey sandwiches on top and spilled some honey on our sleeping bag. I start feeling around something to cover myself with. I'm like, "Oh, Jerry, can you lie on top of me?" But, and he told it as a humorous speech, and he got an A for a humorous speech of all things. But I know I was for 3 days, I was studying how sharp their teeth were and how long their claws were. And just, come on, bears, I can fight you. And the third night campfire, a woman comes up to me, and it's these two things. It was with her compassionate words and her loving, affectionate touch. She goes, "Barbara, you were there." I mean, she didn't even know my name then. She just said, "You were there when that guy died like that." And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "I'm so sorry that you had to experience that." And all of a sudden, I'm crying for the first time in 3 days. And as I'm crying, and I'm feeling her compassion, I'm feeling it through her words and through her touch. All of a sudden, I'm like, my feet are back on the ground. I felt like I'm awake. And when Sakyamuni Buddha became enlightened, supposedly under the Bodhi tree, that was his experience. He felt like I'm awake, like he had woken up. And that's how I felt, with her love. And I just read something on Facebook, I hope I captured it, where somebody is explaining the physiology of he almost died surfing, and of somebody coming over and saying, "You're okay, I got you now." And, and touching him and letting him know he was safe. And he understood why that takes you out of that fear mode where your whole body goes into that post-traumatic stress disorder thing, where someone can come up behind you and you jump, and you get too scared too easily. That it's not that hard to start, helping free us from some of these traumas that we've gone through. And I think this is like so important to know. So when we see these girls out selling themselves in the street, or we see these guys going to bars, like, what are you looking at? What if to realize that they're being counterphobic. They're still looking for bears to fight. Something traumatized them, and they're being like, all right, come on, I can handle this. And living in that state that works within your nerves in your body, and how to have compassion and how to help release trauma in each other, and to listen and be compassionate so we really can protect children in the future. My phone might I'm gonna charge my phone. Let me see. We got like 15 minutes. But did that? I wonder. I wonder if it works, because sometimes people have trouble following. To me, it's like I see the connection from the one thing to the other thing. But a lot of times people think, I'm jumping around too much, and doesn't, you think, oh, she's crazy. But I can explain. What we have there is a failure to communicate.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun to quote movies sometimes if the other person saw the movie too, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was from the Rocky Horror Picture Show or the one with Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Yeah. I think he says right before he's shot.
Oh boy.
Mhm. Did it make sense to you? Could you relate to what I was saying?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I want to do with my degree. I want to be in a place where people and I could be putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and those together. So it'd be easier to help heal each other, right? And communicate and laugh at things.
Yeah. And it's stuff we need to be talking about more than maybe we are. Yeah, especially about like certain things. Just to be kind of more discussion about it and be more compassionate about it. And yeah.
And they say that like tragedy is universal. Like you can all relate to, like someone's child dying, something like that. But humor is very local. That's why sometimes like siblings can help laugh with each other easily. So the more we can understand each other and trust each other,
Yeah.
then the more we can feel joy and laughter with each other too.
Yeah. How did you get into the whole laughter yoga? Or how did you find it? Or
I was in, yeah, I was in so much. It seemed like my mom died, who was always in pain. It's kind of almost like I took over her pain for her,
oh,
and all of a sudden, like, yeah, all by myself, all this pain. And of course, there's like all these diagnoses of, severe arthritis, degenerative bone disease, mixed. Oh man, this is what it is. It's like a lot of autoimmune each other, mixed connective tissue disorder. But anyway, I was, and also I'd been through a lot of violent episodes. So when I started trying to stand on my head, things started compounding, but I was in so much pain. And for 2 weeks, I was trying to get out of this pain. And somebody was telling me about some natural painkillers they were going to turn me on to. And I should meet them in the parking lot. I mean, I was going to go meet him in the parking lot downstairs where I live, next to like where there's the park, there's the community center. And like from behind these bushes, I'm hearing all this laughter. And I like peek over, and there's my friend Goddess. That's her real legal name.
Oh, jeez.
And she was like, she and her husband Noah brought laughter yoga to South Florida. And she's like, come on, join us. Come over here. So for like the last 10 minutes, you don't do laughter yoga for like more than 20 minutes at a time. But for the last 10 minutes, I went over and I was doing laughter yoga with the people, which is just helping each other be silly and laugh and talk in gibberish. And sometimes we do tapping and silly kind of games. But away when this class ended, and I'm walking away, I realized, oh my goodness, that pain that I couldn't get rid of is gone. And I was like so very impressed. I saw how powerful, power of laughing with people. Yes. Think by yourself, because your body doesn't know if you're like faking the laughter or if there's a fountain of joy bubbling up inside of you from something that was delightful. But it'll start creating the endorphins. It starts getting rid of the cortisol, and people start. I watch like eye contact becomes greater, more joyful, which is a sign of love. Even with your dog, eye contact is good. And as people playing together, laughter yoga got started when Dr. Norman Cousins, I don't know if he was in the United States or in, but he was someone in the hospital being given like 2 weeks to live.
Wow.
And he thought, I'm not going to waste my kids' inheritance money. So if I'm going to die, I'm not going to spend it all being in this hospital. So he checked himself into like a nearby hotel. And he figured if I'm dying, I'll die laughing. And he got all these humorous videos to watch. And 27 years later, he's writing autobiography of a disease. And a doctor in India, Dr. Katare, who was so sincere about wanting to be a great doctor and heal people. And he could get people to overcome cancer. And 5 years later, they're showing up with the same problems, maybe in a different place. And he's like, what's the missing element? So he's the one that started laughter yoga in India. And it's fun to watch him. And in India, many people show up when they're in the park laughing together. But I can talk so much. I want to hear you more.
That's what they say. Laughter is the best medicine.
Yeah.
And that's awesome that the doctor helped that guy live longer than he maybe was thought to have lived. And that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But
And I think there's a lot of documentation. Unfortunately, like sometimes when people have been being really cruel, like the Nazis and all, like they would laugh, to release some of the tension from knowing that what they were doing was horrendous. So there's a laughter that's like a fountain of joy bubbling up inside of you. That's the best laughter. But laughter is to be found.
Yeah.
In Indian culture, I'm not sure which one, they have a laughing baby ceremony.
Oh, jeez. I'm not sure if I've heard of that. But
the tribe gets together and they'll pass the baby around, so everyone in the tribe gets to laugh with the baby.
Oh boy. I think that would be fun. I could just imagine. It would be.
Baby would be like,
who are all these people? But I'm laughing.
I mean, there's things to talk about that people don't dare. Like, Ina Gaskin. He wrote Spiritual Midwifery and
Uh-huh.
Birth Matters. And
Okay.
you know how like the media will make it seem like giving birth is like so terrible and painful and all. And she's proven that women know from the first time we're ever physical like that, there's a connection between our mouth, our throat and our birthing canal. And she actually has been able, when women come into transition, which is the part where you go, then where it gets really intense, right when the baby's coming out, and gonna start pushing, that women are capable of going into orgasm. Is that okay to say on the show? In that moment is what helped bring the baby in. It also help the woman relax and help bring the baby out, and can be a really high experience. And all three of my children I was able to have naturally. My one child at a birthing center, and I'd love to be able to talk about that, and have people hear me and be able to show, women this doesn't damage your body. It's like it is a form of love making and bonding between the mother and child. And just, can help bodies stay healthier, and perkier. But I don't know why people don't share, share what can make life so much more amazing. Why they'd rather show, the horror and the terror and like that. We got to turn that around, and hopefully the show will help do that.
Yeah, it probably goes back to what started talking about before, kind of whole like fear. Part of it might be a fear thing, but that could be just me.
And then we hold on to the fear instead of laughing away.
Yeah.
Can I ask how old you are? Because you look really young to me.
I am 38.
Yeah, that's a baby yet.
I get that all the time. I look younger than I really am, but yeah.
No, you are. You really are young. And my daughter, she's turning. What is she? 39, and she has 3 children under the age of 3 right now.
Oh wow!
Because she squeezes them all in, and my daughter Sarah, I was 40. I was past 40 when I just throwing that out there because I want people to, experience all the beauty in life and really be happy. I feel like a mom to kind of everybody. Moms are like
yeah, moms, yeah. Moms have reasons. But yeah.
The older you get, the more children there are around you. Now I can look at someone, under 7 and they go, oh, I remember when I was that age. Yeah, that was sweet. I wonder where Kurt is today.
I think he had some event that he was. I think he had some event that he's at right now. It's yesterday. Sort of like yesterday might be maybe coming on, but I don't know. He must have got caught up in his event. So
he might be having too much fun.
Yeah,
I think people can have too much fun because he's always having fun, right?
Yeah, he's probably having too much fun. He's like he doesn't want to spend too much fun at this event. But yeah. But yeah. But yeah, I love your flowers behind you.
Oh, thank you. Those that came out of a back surgery.
Very pretty.
My daughter's friends, yeah. Just left these beautiful flowers here. So I captured them on camera.
Awesome. Yeah. Trying some flowers like that.
I think the story that y'all have been covering over the last few weeks, the woman who was forced to take pharmaceuticals and all this. I think that's something we need to be talking about more and more because we keep hearing more stories like that showing up.
That kind of stuff shouldn't be happening, especially as much as maybe it is at the moment.
And with teenagers too, that's happening too. The rights are taken away from them, and the parents' rights are taken away because we have like, oh yeah, we're protecting them, but someone's saying, how are you protecting kids by locking them up and drugging them, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot that we have to be courageous and talk about and help figure out how we change things that we know are wrong.
Yeah, and hopefully, can have people investigate the situation first before they just start, like, I don't know, prescribing something without really knowing everything about the situation and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, his family member. It's in her family's, the way they talk to each other. And this doctor went, how are you feeling? She was having a drug medication problem that this doctor made a mistake and she wasn't getting like the right amount or too much or too little, and came to try to help fix that. And this doctor came up and went, how are you feeling? And for her, it was like, okay, to be able to say, oh, I'd rather be dead than the way I'm feeling right now. And the next thing, like, she's being scarfed up to a psych ward because, what was easy for, a way to communicate in her family was seen as a serious issue for her. She didn't mean it so serious.
Oh, wow. Boy.
Yeah. So, so how we become more humanistic and more compassionate with each other and have more faith in each other.
Yeah. That'd be nice if more people like that.
People are so afraid of losing their jobs, that has to do with that capitalistic society morality that we have. But the president, Biden, he just said, what did he say when there's not? Oh, he just said something that was really great about, it's not capitalism when there's monopolies, right? Yeah. And he just said something very brave, like, about that.
Yeah. So I know there's so you locate in Florida, because I know there's the hurricane that's going around there. Are you?
We're lucky. I'm in between Miami and Fort Lauderdale on the beach there, and we were missed, so
that's good.
we were protected. We were lucky. Yeah.
It was funny how close you were to. I was hoping you guys were okay and everything, but I just wanted to.
Thank you so much.
Because I know there's there's been a lot of damage and a lot of whatever. And other people in other places in Florida, so.
A lot of people calling each other and saying, you can come to me. If you have any problem, I'm here for you. You can come to me. I'm hearing a lot of that. A lot of that among family members and among friends. Yeah. So that's good news coming out of all this. I know, in my Toastmaster group, there have been a number of people who've just shown up from the Ukraine and from Russia.
Okay.
They came to the United States, and I want to be really interesting, and we're creating like such a sense of family, and being fellow Toastmasters, and that's kind of that's been beautiful to see. But with the United States, who we can be for people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Safe space. We just need to create more and more safe spaces around this planet. Right? And it's such a pretty land in so many places.
Yeah. Yeah, and have flowers like you're behind you.
So 10 years from now, where do you want to be? What do you want to see?
Probably like more, hopefully like more compassion, but kind of in a, like a secure position. Yeah, doing the things I want to do, or like to be doing, and kind of thing. So yeah.
Which is in technology and communication. I think there needs to. I always think there needs to be more people looking at what we're showing movies, what kids are seeing.
Yeah. We're kind of in a whole big technology whatever right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we are with that in however many years.
What is it they like to do?
I just like being outside and reading and biking and being with family and friends.
Nice.
So how was you say you're by the ocean earlier today, or
Yeah.
yeah?
I was actually. Oh, I lost you. I was in the ocean this morning. Yeah. I got to go in the ocean. I got to walk on the sand. I had these back operations, and I've been walking with a walker for some walk, and now I can walk on the sand for a while. Unassisted. Yay!
Yeah.
I can swim in the ocean again.
Yeah, I'm gonna be going to California in a couple of weeks, so hopefully we can get to the ocean and that side of the country.
Congratulations. And what I found so far, the ocean in Florida is a lot more gentle than what I experienced in California, but maybe that's just because I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
Mm-hmm.
So if I know.
Yeah. I like to body surf.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, my son showed me how to do it. You see a wave coming, and you wait till it's like cresting, and you make sure you're faced in the right direction.
Yeah. Have you ever actually done it before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds a little scary fun and scary to me at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Someone once told me, Barbara, what you feel is fear, I feel is excitement. And I thought, yeah, I want to learn how to do that.
I could see that.
And if you let yourself have all kinds of friends, like I found out I knew someone who was in the porn industry, and she was saying where people like learn how to take like pain and make it into more ecstasy. That that we have the ability to do that. But I've heard that before. But yeah, I mean, if we weren't afraid to like talk to each other and rather than judge each other and learn from each other. Yeah, that'd be fun. We've gone past 4:00.
Yeah. So, but thank you for coming on today. Appreciate it.
Oh no, thank you for allowing me. Thank you for doing the technology to make it happen. And hopefully we'll hear from people who are hearing us.
Yeah, hopefully. That'd be awesome.
Might take courage.
Yeah.
But in order for, if people want to do that, what do they need to do? Like you show me, like how to get on. I mean, you give me a link, but let's say, yeah.
Okay, first of all, I wanted to give also give special thanks to Marcus Hart and Transforming Media, the Disability Channel, and the PACT Channel for allowing us to have this show on their platform. If anybody has any questions or would like to be on the future episode, you can get a hold of me at Emily Gollmer, Gollmer, at iCloud.com, or Kurt Roskopf at 262-372-1754. And also to please check out all of our social media pages and groups, and like, share, comment. We are here every.
Maybe we can say it again too, in case people had to write it down and they couldn't be that fast. I'm not so fast.
Okay,
numbers.
So Kurt's phone number is 262-372-1754. And my email is EMILYGOLLMER at ICLOUD.com. And we are here every Saturday at 3 Eastern. So I encourage everybody to join us at a future date and episode. We'd love to have everybody. So I guess until next time, everybody stay healthy and stay happy.